Hickson, I got a good one for you today. Let's go!
Hey, this Chief Hickson with Chief Says exclusively for those looking to go to the next level when it comes to inspiring, encouraging, and motivate you to get to that next level. Here at Chief Says, we provide a positive energy platform. At Chief Says, we take you through some powerful tips, guys, that has been proven to change people's lives, and they could change yours too if you apply them. This is different, guys, from that 1-minute video I normally do on Instagram and Facebook, but this still is a positive platform. Here on Chief Says, this is the part I like. We have a segment that's set out to the side that we bring in positive people that are performing at a phenomenal level. And I meant to tell you guys, at this very moment, we are going through a lot of serious stuff, mentally and physically. It's not just the COVID-19, it's cancer. It's depression, anxiety, PTSD. People are dealing with chronic illnesses. They have lost loved ones. People struggling with their identity, their own identity. People have been fired and laid off from their job. Okay, so we're bringing in some positive people that have lived the example of what they've been doing. They've been inspiring, motivating, encouraging people to reach their full potential. Okay, so I need to make sure that you understand. I try to figure out who motivates the motivator. And I always thought about to myself, who motivates the motivator? And the answer is you. So I like to do a short deep dive into one of my Instagram videos this week on Chief Says. This one is called The Hate Show. All right, so watch this little 1-minute video with us, and then we'll do a short deep dive.
Hickson, just when I thought it was okay to hate something or someone, poof, it was gone or they were gone. You never know how much you love something or someone until you lose the very thing that you thought you hated. I hated school until I graduated, and then I wanted to come back, visit the teachers, and roam the halls. I hated my job, my boss, even my coworkers until I got laid off, and I missed those friendly arguments that we used to have and working as a team. I hated the relationship that I was in at one point until we separated, and I could not stand being without her or not seeing or speaking with her. I hated my parents for being all in my business until I realized they could be gone at a moment's notice. I even hated myself for not being someone else until I realized I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be, and that's me. I guess what I'm trying to say, guys, is we should stop hating and start embracing. Cut out the hate show. We're losing precious time hating on the things that we really love. This Chief Hickson, cut out the hate show. Let's go!
Woo! I like that one there. The hate show. All right, we got a lot of haters out there, and you'll be a hater too, okay? What you have to understand is you have to cut out some of that stuff that you're doing. Start to love more than you hate, okay? We hating a lot of things that we actually love, but we putting on this big facade, a big show that we actually hated, but we actually love these things, all right? So stop trying to be something that you're not, which is a hater. Be a lover when it comes to those particular things that you actually love. I love my job. I love the people that are around me. I love going to school and education and stuff. But sometimes we actually put on this big show that we hate this, we hate that. Especially going through this COVID-19. You thought you hated school, but you're trying to get back into school now. So again, I even hated myself for not being somebody else. And that's crazy to even think about. You hate yourself for not being somebody else, being envious of somebody, okay? So cut out the hate show. You even hating on your own self. So this Chief Hickson, cut out the hate show. Let's go. All right, we got a special guest today. And I'm going to just cut straight to the chase. I mean, this person has actually brought me to a different level when it comes to not only business wise, but being a mentor to me. Not only he's a business person, he's a retired sergeant major. He's probably one of the most influential people in Fayetteville, period, probably in North Carolina. And he's a part of a whole bunch of clubs. So I want to introduce retired Command Sergeant Major Taybron, Cravis Taybron. Right? Man. So Taybron, you mind if I call you Taybron, right? I mean, we know each other for a while. All right, so could you tell the audience a little bit about yourself that I did not mention in the intro, like, your marital status and some of the things that I purposely didn't mention in the intro?
Yeah, I'm originally from North Carolina. Actually, I'm from Durham, North Carolina. Entered the military right after high school. I graduated in high school in May '69. I was 17. I was too young to be drafted, But in July, I turned 18. I volunteered for the draft. And in October, I was going through basic training at Fort Bragg. And that's the Army was really my first choice and really my only choice of what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do a lot of things that people graduating with me. They wanted to stay with just the basic jobs or go to college or so forth. I really had this great desire to be a soldier. And that's basically what I did. I came in, hit the ground running, and just enjoyed every day. Married, I have one son, two grandsons. Met my I married the young lady that I met in the 7th grade, and we got married right after she graduated from college in '73, and every day is a wonderful day there too. And been happily married since 1973.
Good.
And
That's very
that's
inspirational. What business do you currently run, and how did you get started, Taybron?
that's a good question. I own Taybron Sweaters Unlimited Embroidery and Design. I actually started the business about 3 years before I retired. I love clothes. I love to dress. Uh, and that's always been clothes has always been a love for me. And I got started just with an idea of sweaters. And I talked to a local vendor that sold sweaters, and they only had one color and two styles. It was a beige or a cream color, came in a V-neck or crew neck. And with that, I started putting different designs and so forth on the sweaters and selling them to individuals, organizations, and so forth. And from that, uh, uh, 25 years later, I'm still doing embroidery and design. But my apparel is really unlimited. If you, I always make the statement: if you can imagine it or dream it, I got it, or I can get it.
I like that. You're probably one of the top people on the East Coast when it comes to embroidering. So I know you're involved with a lot of stuff. So is this pretty much true?
That is true. That is true. We embroider items for just about every organization, whether it's organization, business, individual around here. And I not only just in North Carolina, but I cover and travel and cover pretty much all of the United States. Uh, Recently, we've gone to Puerto Rico. I've covered Germany, Italy, so pretty much around the world.
Yeah.
That anybody interested in embroidered items, I'm available, and they are available.
Yeah, like I said, then it's not just the East Coast, it's around the world. So I always know that you're on the road and stuff like that. So I just definitely wanted to bring that light to the interview or to the conversation that we have, and that how much of an impact you are in the community when it comes to being a businessman. So I know you are a motivator. I know you motivate me. I know you're into helping out the schools with the scholarships and stuff. So give us that specific aha moment when you noticed that you was gifted at helping people or inspiring people, Mr. Taybron.
Uh, for me, it probably started uh, in actually in Vietnam in 1970. I had an awesome team leader that taught us that our team, first of all, about ourselves, and then about each other. And we worked in what we refer to as 6-man 100-kilo teams. I was with Charlie Cutton, the 75th Rangers. Uh, we were unique in that it was only about 15 blacks in the entire company. But uh, the things that he taught me, and as well as the other members of my team, uh, I carried those pretty much my entire career. Uh, Focusing on being the best that you could be, uh, always uh, bringing your A team to the game, and and passing that on. And he always said, we don't have secrets from each other, and we got to always make sure we're there for our buddy, and never leave your airborne buddy.
Never leave your airborne buddy. So I appreciate it. Were there any challenging times in your life where you had to take on some of the advice that you normally give others? You had to actually take that prescription yourself and use it? Was there any challenging times in your life?
There were a couple of challenges. I used to always say, when you have an objective, and my objective uh, in the military was to become a command sergeant major. And I made that decision on the 7th of December, 1969. And one would say, why would you remember that day? I was graduating from basic training, the 7th of December, 1969. We were standing on the parade field right there off of Butner Road. In fact, that area is still there today. And it was a sergeant major that walked across the parade field in dress blues. I had never seen anybody in dress blues. And I said, my God, look at that uniform. And he had all these stripes that I had never seen before. And one of the guys standing in the formation with me said, that's my dad. He's a command sergeant major. I said, I'm staying in the Army till I get that many stripes up and down my arm. And that came true.
It came to fruition.
And so that decision was made on the 7th of December. And I just focused on that my entire career, that I wanted to not get out of the military until I had reached that objective. And there were times that people would say, you know, you're probably not going to make it because only that small percentage, some 7% of the enlisted rank, ever become sergeant majors and command sergeant majors. But though for me, I took that as doubters, people that didn't believe in me. And all of the individuals that made that statement to me, I cut them loose. Ooh. I said, because if you don't believe in Taybron, why do I need you in my life? And I physically cut them loose. And I retired as a command sergeant major.
That's what's going on. That's what's up. I love that story. Sometimes you got to be able to let people go that don't believe in you, and definitely. Can you think of a person or a family member or somebody that was influential in your life the most, and why?
Well, you know, that individual is close to me even today. When I came back from Vietnam, I reported to Bravo Company 3325 in the 82nd. And I had a platoon sergeant that was a staff sergeant named Foster L. Bazemore. And that's when we were doing PT in boots and fatigues and white t-shirts. And when he came to work, even in PTs, he was sharp. And he changed fatigues twice a day. And I used to always say, God, that is the cleanest soldier in the Army, the sharpest soldier in the Army. And he would talk to the squad leaders, and he would say to all of us that we have to be the standard setters for all that we do. That there's a standard, and then there's an airborne standard. And he said, once you reach that standard, don't lower your standard to work with anyone. Let them rise to your level and work with you. That same individual is with me now in my triple nickel chapter here. He's the vice president, and he's still advising. He's still setting the standard. Wow. And he was key to that. He used to tell me that there were two types of soldiers. There was a field soldier and there was a garrison soldier, and those standards were the same. Oh. And once I felt that I had reached that standard, then I knew that I had to maintain that standard every day.
And as a former senior non-commissioned officer myself, I can definitely appreciate what NCOs do for the Army. They are the backbone of the Army. When it comes to the NCO creed, you know, you got NCOs living that on a daily basis. And didn't want to be remiss by the opportunity to thank you for your time that you did in Vietnam for the country. So I definitely want you to be able to tell that, not only your story, but just tell the audience that you actually went there. But could you mention a little bit about, you mentioned a little bit about the Triple Nickel. Could you tell me about that organization a little bit?
Yes, the 555th Parachute Infantry Association, nicknamed the Triple Nickel, was the first and only all-black airborne battalion in the history of the Army. You know, when they first started paratroopers, they didn't allow blacks to become paratroopers. They didn't allow black soldiers to become paratroopers. They said they weren't smart enough. They weren't courageous enough. They had fear of heights. So they would not make a good paratrooper. But boy, did we prove them wrong. When they decided or approved that they would start testing and allow black soldiers to become paratroopers, they said that they were going to start with 20 soldiers and 20 enlisted soldiers. And when they sent out applications for soldiers to become be a part of that 20, 10,000 applications came back. And of that original 20, 16 graduated together. One did not, because he had an emergency and he had to go home, and he came back and he graduated with an all-white company. But that's, and we call them the Sweet 16. And they started the basis for the battalion. They said that they were only going to have a company of black paratroopers, but it was in such demand that they ended up forming a battalion. And they were the first and only all-black airborne battalion in the history of the Army. December 1948, they were deactivated and became part of the 82nd. That whole process was so unique in that General Gavin, the commander of the 82nd, had petitioned the Department of the Army to allow the 555th to be assigned, not just attached to the 82nd. And after three requests, on the third one, it was approved. And in December 1948, they became part of the 82nd. And they reformed as 3505 Parachute Infantry Regiment, and thereby becoming the first black soldiers to be a part of any military organization, not just the Army. So when they say the Triple Nickel was first to integrate any branch of service, they were in fact first. 6 months later, then President Truman signed into law that all services would be integrated. To continue the legacy and the information about the Triple Nickel, they have formed chapters around the United States. Our chapter, which is called the Samuel Council chapter, is the largest and busiest of all the chapters. And we have a proud history standing on the backs of those that went before us.
Outstanding. Outstanding. And I asked you that because I know you're a member of the Triple Nickel, and I am too. So I'm a proud member along with the same chapter that you're a member of. So I definitely want you to get an opportunity to get a plug in there for the Triple Nickel, because they've done a lot for the Trailblazers. So what are some recommendations you can give people that's going through the extraordinary circumstances of COVID-19, even in the business aspect?
Well, you know, a lot of people are giving up early. I think, you know, they don't see where there is a opening at the end of the tunnel. I keep telling myself, because all of us are going through the same thing, where normally I travel 7 to 9 months a year in my business. All of the conventions and all of the travel has come to a screeching halt. And so you have to keep telling yourself that this is going. There is an ending at the end of every tunnel. Mother reminds me every day, you got to stay masked up, gloved up, and prayed up. And if you do those things, you're gonna continue to do well and achieve those goals in life. And you got to keep reminding each other that you're going to this is going to be okay. And then and while you're moving down the road, reach back and grab somebody else
Others.
and take them down the road too. I said it's always lonely at the top, so why not bring somebody else along with you?
So, how could some of our viewers get a hold of you or find out where your business is at? Do you have a website or something like that?
And you can always reach out to me on my web page, and or you can call me direct. And I tell anyone you can call me direct. I try to pay my phone bill at least once a month, and by simply calling 910-322-1103. They you can also Google me. It's all there. Taybron Sweaters Unlimited or TSU, and I'll pop right up there, and you'll get the story.
Okay. So just two things. Do you have any other organizations that you would like to highlight that you sponsor or are involved with? You would like to give a shout out to?
We ask one, of course, my Triple Nickel chapter. It's a Samuel Council chapter 555th PIA. I also belong to the 82nd Association here. I also belong to my 173rd chapter here. And then my heart and soul is Vette Unlimited. Our Corvette Club is so unique because the club actually formed in October 1984 when we just kind of showed up at Fayetteville State University for a Fayetteville State homecoming parade, and decided that we would just form a little social club. But all of us were still in the military, and we began to grow up and do other things, but we still maintain that connection. And of that original group, 3 are still together. Of that original group that started in October 1984. Our Corvette Club partnered with the 555th to sponsor scholarships for our local community. We've been providing scholarships for the last 26 years. We provide 44 $1,000 scholarships each year. For the last 3 years, it's been averaging 46 to 48 scholarships because other organizations have come on board to assist us in that. We had a unique opportunity this year in that when COVID-19 shut the schools down, we normally have been presenting our scholarships at award ceremonies in the school. But luckily, we drop our paperwork off at the schools for the school scholarship committees to select our recipients. They were able to do that, but then we could not present the scholarships to the schools because they didn't have award ceremony. So we said, let's come up with something unique and different, because we didn't want to just send the scholarship to the kid in the mail. It was so impersonal. So we decided, because we had the contact information on every student, to contact the parent, and we would just show up at this kid's house, right in their driveway. You would have about 30 or 40 cars, and everybody dressed the same, masked up, and the kid will walk to the end of the driveway with his parents, grandmother, or legal guardian, and we will present the scholarship to the kids in person. And I tell you, that was one of the most rewarding things, whether it was through the Corvette Club or through our Triple Nickel chapter. We would all show up, all dressed alike, and just think about 40 cars or more show up in front of your house, and it's not a funeral. And these kids got so excited that they were being presented their scholarship and right in front of their house.
Outstanding. But I definitely appreciate you. You coming through and actually doing an interview and letting people know about what you're doing, inspiring, motivating, and encouraging people. And not only just with the scholarships, but being able to share your story and being able to be a standard bearer and a business person. So I appreciate you coming through, but we're not done yet. We have the Chief Says Speed Word game that we're going to go to. All right. So we're just going to have some fun with this, Taybron. So I'm going to give you a word, and then you say whatever word or whatever phrase you want to say that comes out of the first thing that comes to your mind. So we got our production team that's going to count down 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, they're going to aunt you. You're going to hear a beep or whatever, and then we're just going to give you another word. But it's just for fun. All right. So again, here we go. All right. Challenge.
That's a good one. Life.
Okay. Life's a challenge. Okay. Here we go. Another one. Guidance.
Focus and opportunity.
Focus and opportunity. That's good. And airborne.
All the way.
All the way. That's what I'm talking. I knew you was gonna get that one. I knew you was gonna get. I appreciate you doing the interview and accepting the interview. What we do is we actually send all of our guests that are on the Chief Says. We give you a shirt. A Chief Says. You can't buy them. You can't order them or anything like that. Now I know it's not embroidery, but you know what I mean. Yeah, wear this on our behalf. So we'll get your information and send it to you. So we also send a shirt to one of our viewers on Instagram that submitted a question. And the interview that we did is Carrington. So Carrington, you will be receiving a Chief Says shirt. So we'll get your information and stuff like that and send the shirt to you. But I would like to thank my guest, Command Sergeant Major Retired Taybron. Also, I would like to thank Brandon by K Production Media Team for making Chief Says a reality where you, the viewer, can get the benefit out of it. So subscribe, turn on your notification, like, and actually make sure you share this with everybody. So again, we're at the end of the segment. I always say that's my time, but at the end, Taybron, I always say, let's go. Would you help me with that?
Let's go.
Yeah, after I say Chief Says, and we say let's go together, right? All right, Chief Says, let's go. Thank you, Taybron.